Chef Mike from Roth Living in Minnesota, talking about the Wolf Convection Steam Oven on slow roast mode. Now, this is one of the modes accessible in the More menu, and what it allows the oven to do is you identify what you're cooking, and there's more than 10 cuts of meat identified there, and the oven decides the best mode, temperature, and timing to make that item perfect. Now, this is a mode I really take advantage of when I'm entertaining because it gives you a window between 2.5 hours and 4.5 hours that you can tell the oven when you want this item done. And that allows you to not worry about that piece, and it'll be perfectly ready when you're ready to sit down and entertain and share a meal. So the first thing you need to do with slow roast sear is to actually sear. So we're going to use a beef tenderloin today. Let's sear it, and then we'll come back to this oven and set the mode. So we got our beef tenderloin here. We've seared it on the griddle. You could also use the char or grill outside. Either way, just get a little crust on the outside. The next thing you want to do is put your probe into the center so the oven can determine when this tenderloin is cooked to the appropriate temperature inside. So I want to set this pan in here. Then I'm going to take the probe, which remember only measures in the last 3/4 of an inch of the probe. So I want to have that right in the center of what I'm doing. Right into the center of this beef. Then I want to put it in insert the probe in the side of the oven. That's ready to go. Now we'll pick the mode. The mode for this is accessed through the More menu. It's called Slow Roast Sear. We're going to select the cut of meat. We're going to go beef and tenderloin. And this is going to give you a choice on your doneness, rare or medium, and know that you have the ability to adjust the probe temperature on both of those settings. So play around with what is the way you like your beef cooked. I'm going to select the medium, and then I'm going to adjust that probe temperature down. What I found that suits the most people here is about 135 degrees as an internal temperature. The next thing it allows you to do is to determine when you would like this to be done. Now, food safety comes into effect. You can't put it in the morning and go to work, but you have between 2.5 hour minimum and a 4.5 hour maximum to have this item perfectly cooked. So let's select our end time or our duration. That's set. We have it set to come out and start the oven. Now the oven will take care of the rest of the decisions in terms of the mode and the temperature, and it will be ready when we said we were ready for the food. We'll come back and take a look at how this tenderloin cooked in this oven. So we have our beef tenderloin here from the steam oven. We're going to pull the probe. And I've let it rest because it's important to let your proteins rest after cooking to allow the moisture to redistribute to the edges and for the intense heat that they're cooked in to enter the center. So now we're going to cut this in half and just kind of show you that beautiful end result you get when cooking. So you can see I have a beautiful, nice pink color all the way to the edges. Now this one was cooked to about 135, but you can see from that shine it's nice and moist, perfectly cooked, and yet it still has this nice brown crust on the outside that we like when we're eating it. So if we just portion this into pieces. So using the steam oven to slow roast sear your proteins results in this beautifully cooked piece. And you were able to select the time that you wanted it completed. beautiful. Beef tenderloin done at the time you wanted it done, perfectly from the steam oven. Come back to this Roth Living YouTube channel for additional videos on using the convection steam oven.